Excuse me. I'm back. Today I feel a little bit like a bad rash. In the sense that, I feel like I've been talking. All I do is talk. You guys, I've got to be getting sick of it. I think I'm sick of myself. Talk. But hey, y'all know I'm a good talker. I always say if you send me an email, the email will tend to be quite, what do you say? How do you say it? I am pretty verbose in real life. Hey, everyone. Glad to have you. Thanks for joining me. I did put out a schedule they're not daily demos anymore, but demos for the next couple weeks. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Originally, I wrote Tuesdays and Wednesdays, whereas the dates was Thursday. You know me. My brain is seriously scrambled eggs at this point. Oh my goodness. Who knows what I'll say today? Yeah. Who knows? Could be dicey. Oh my gosh. So we had tons of fun in class yesterday. Appreciate all of you that took class. And I'm so grateful for that. So another thing that I did, typical Dina, not paying attention, is last time I did a live, I was like, oh, this store was supposed to come and chat with us today, and they're not here, and I mentioned it a couple times. Well, I was in the wrong because I cannot read a schedule that I set up. So I did a little sign up for stores that wanted to do it, and this sweet store in Calgary, Paper and Ink Boutique, signed up for today. And I went and looked at that schedule and was like, oh, they signed up for Friday. Seriously. I did the schedule, but remember, dates are numbers. So I am the same person. Diana, yes, you can still sign up for the class. I am the same person who once on a family trip, bringing my entire family to England, booked all of the hotels for the wrong month. And I only knew it because then I got letters in the mail from all the hotels saying that we were no-shows, that we were being charged. So, that's the sort of thing that happens to me with numbers. So I apologize to Paper and Ink Boutique about that. Their day is today. And so hopefully they come and forgive me for being dingy. So if you're here, Paper and Ink Boutique, please speak up. Whenever you join will be great. So Paper and Ink Boutique is a shop in Calgary, and definitely a lot of us don't have these shops anymore that are nearby, so we're going to have to follow shops that are in parts of the country where we don't live, because all of these shops are starting to ship. And if you follow their social media feeds, what's great is that they'll start posting what's on their shelves, and then you can just pop them a Facebook message or an email. I'm sure they all will have a procedure that they prefer, and then you can get your stuffings and support the small business at the same time, which would be amazing. So Paper and Ink Boutique in Calgary just posted on her Facebook class, or Facebook, I promise I'm not on drugs. They are here, yay! Just posted that she had a bunch of new sprays. Just got a new shipment of spray. So let me go back and look. Yes, Paper and Ink Boutique. Thank you. So tell us, Paper and Ink Boutique, tell us about your shop in Calgary. And I'm putting you in the right city, correct? And also in the comments, can you mention what your shipping policy is? And all of that good stuff. So please, and if you guys have questions for Paper and Ink Boutique, that would be wonderful. Hi, Kim from Calgary. I know, it was totally my fault. She emailed me and she said, oh, I heard we were supposed to be on today. And I'm like, no, you weren't supposed to be on today. It's just Dina and numbers, Dina and dates. I have a little story about that. So my husband, who's a software engineer, and he used to win the contests in high school about math. And it was him and one other kid that would like go back and forth every year winning the, the best math contest, the best math student in high school. So anyway, that's the way his brain thinks. So one time he was talking to me and he was saying, we really should take all of your classes and write down what all the supplies are and write down all of this stuff. And what we should do is make spreadsheets and this blah, blah, and this will help you pack. And he went on and on about this spreadsheet system that he thought I should adopt. And then he talked for a while about it. And then he said, well, what do you think? And I said, I don't know. I stopped listening as soon as you said spreadsheet. So, that's how I roll. So Paper and Ink Boutique, tell us what you just got in. I'm going to start demoing, but what I want Paper and Ink Boutique to do, please, is share your social media channels. I would love it if you would, so just post links right in the comments of your Facebook, your store, your website, your all of that good stuff. And if you guys who are watching, if you will give them a shout out, also post about them on your social media would be amazing. That would be fantastic. So Paper and Ink Boutique says we do curbside, free delivery in Calgary, ship across Canada. Here's a link to our online store. So online store link is in the comments. These comments stay, they don't transfer over to the YouTube and my blog, but they do stay in real time on Facebook. So you can always come back and look at that. And she says they have 194 Dina Wakely products. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't even know I had that many. Do you ship to the US? Marilyn wants to know. So let them know. All right. So also, again, thanks for all of you guys that joined class yesterday. We had a ton of fun. It was interesting to teach without having the real life feedback of you guys. Because me, I'm a pacer. So in class, I pace around and I love to see what's happening in front of you. So that was a little harder for me. But I appreciate you guys interacting. The other thing that I love is that all of you guys are sharing your work in the group. So we'll do another online class on May 9th, okay? And this was what, if you weren't in class yesterday, this is the project that we did. It was called Page in Motion, and we did these little pop-ups. Also, you can still take the class. The video is saved in the group, and it's up and available, and you're welcome to, you can still take it. So Kim, you're wonderful promoting that store. You're such a good ambassador for that. So super fun. Also, Paper and Ink Boutique, don't forget to share what else you sell. I know that I'm not the only game in town, nor do I expect to be. And I think it would be fantastic if you also said what other stuff that you carry so that people can order. That would be great. All right, today we're going to talk a little bit about the texture tools. So I had someone in class yesterday ask a question about texture tools, and I was like, oh, that's a demo in and of itself. And so I thought that would be a great one to start with. So I pulled out all the texture tools that I could find that are available at Ranger. So Facebook is the Paper and Ink Boutique that's the name of their Facebook page. So everybody go follow them. Everybody go. All right. So these tools are fantastic for printing and for use on the plate. And that was kind of one of the original intentions, right? I will tell you that most of the time, though, that is not how I use them. So the class is in its own group. So if you want to join my class, you pay the $15 from my website, and then we add you, or we send you the link to the group. So you have to, it's a paid class. $15 is all. All right, so yeah, I did Dinify my craft, my glass mat. I haven't cleaned it. That's not terrible for me though, to be fair. Oh, Julie, yes, thank you. Yeah, you asked that question. I thought that was a good question, but it's kind of outside the scope of this class. So here we go. So these, I believe, are retired. This was we called it a paint comb or something like that. They were more expensive than a regular stencil because they were cut quite a bit thicker. And so there may be shops out there that still have these. If you have them, you need to grab them because they still are one of my most used tools, as you can tell by the amount of paint covering this thing. This edge I use as a squeegee for applying gesso. These edges are, in fact, because I don't clean stuff, there's a lot of paint gummed into the teeth there. These edges are great for texture. Then these are also available. There's one more that's missing. These are, let me put something behind them because they're clear. These are in the gel plate program for the Dina and Diane gel plate. Okay, so these are available. Again, they have a flat side that it can be used as a squeegee. Not really a squeegee, but a trowel almost. And so if I'm putting gesso on a large canvas, I either use a really big brush to gesso it or I trowel it on. And these longer images or longer flat surfaces, longer than a hotel key or something like that, for me make the job go so much quicker. So these are great. I didn't know if Ranger still sold these, and then I saw them on the wholesale part of the website recently, so these are still available. These are little itty-bitty texture tools that I think you can still get. If Ranger is on, if you can let us know if these are still available. They were on the wholesale side because I was ordering blue journals. I was ordering, I haven't placed send yet, but I've ordered blue journals and I ordered tons of white tags, but I know I'm not going to get the white tags because they're all sold out. Thank you guys for answering questions for me. Yes, the class happens exactly like the demo. So you'll be in a group, the live will start, you'll join it, and the video in the class is pinned to the top, and so you can still watch it, okay? This is called a paint comb. This was called a paint comb. This was in my line. It's been in my line for a long time, and they've just run their course. I mean, we've run through our quantity of them, and so they're retired. So, but you know, a lot of people will make their own. That's fine. I don't like making my own because I don't know, I like to just grab something and have it done. Paper and Ink Boutique. Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot. They take requests, special order products. So I always say that stores can't buy everything. It's just not possible. And if you have something that you want, they can order stuff. And so definitely contact Paper and Ink Boutique if you're interested in things like that. They will... They're happy to place orders. I've never met a store owner that's like, nope, I won't take your order. I mean, they want your orders, okay? So Claire says Ranger has a set of 3 combs and gel plate textured combs. That's what these are right here. Right here. I'm missing one. I don't know where it is, y'all. But this is that set of 3. So it's these 2 plus one more that I can't find. Shocker. Okay? This you're probably only going to be able to find back stock in stores that might have these. Oh, I didn't know you were on Instagram. Paper and Ink Boutique. Awesome. I will come and find you as well. So some of these other friends are popping on saying some of these stores might have paint combs in stock. So contact them and see. So Ranger will send me an email when something's officially discontinued. And I got the email recently about this. The circle one's been out forever, but I got the email just like last week about the square paint comb being done. So that's the scoop. All right, so let's talk a little bit about these on the plate and, you know, and then move to what I use them for the most. So the nice thing about these combs is you can start printing and then create interesting textures Notice my plate is disgusting because, remember, I don't clean them. Yeah, a lot of places only have big boxes, so, you know, what can you do? You have to shop online. That's just a fact. There's a lot of big online players. They're out there as well. The small guys are starting to pop online more. And, you know, they would love to have your business as well. Okay. All right, so the great thing about a paint comb is when you start using the teeth on the plate, you're creating interesting pattern and texture, of course, that will pop out in your print. And I'm just gonna print on some stuff that I've already started. So I have these tags here. So like this tag here, it was like a mop up. You don't see the small combs on the Ranger side. They were on the wholesale side though, so I don't know. I found those small ones. I haven't used them in forever. I found them in that box of masks that I found recently. So there is it just makes cool prints and patterns on the plate, which I really like. Another thing that I like to do, let me just clean that off a little bit. Clean. I said the word clean. That was hilarious. All right, so I'm just gonna look at that. That with black paint would be really, really cool. And then you would have really cool collage paper to tear up and use. I mean, the textures that you get are just, All right. Another thing that I would love to do with the combs is instead of combing the entire plate, I'm going to only comb a part of it. So Jillian, are you feeling okay? Do you mean me? Am I feeling okay? Because I said clean. So this is one of my common methods too. So let's say I have a print going or even a page or something happening. So instead of loading the entire plate with medium, I'm only going to load part of the plate. And that is going to give me a smaller section for printing, because remember, if you watch the gel printing video that I did before, I don't always love to print on the entire piece. I really enjoy using these textural elements for accents on pieces that I've already started. And I put these all the time on pieces that are not gel prints. Okay, so you know, these tags, these are gloss spray tags that I did ages ago. Well, I did it when I was just messing around and avoiding work. And so I've got all these tags. Look how great that looks with that textured element done with the plate right on top of that gloss spray. Okay, I just love that. I love it. I'm married to it and I had its babies. I love it. Have you guys all followed Paper and Ink Boutique yet? They posted that picture of my sprays yesterday or a couple days ago, and I was like, ooh, my mouth started watering. Okay, let's do another one. So if you want to draw the eye on something that's kind of chaotic, if you put a dark color on your little plate, this is another reason, my friends, that I keep this in my drawer, this little plate, okay? So Paper and Ink Boutique, remember, curbside pickup, free local delivery in Calgary, and free shipping across Canada for orders over 100 Canadian. Awesome. And keep posting your link to your online store too, if you will, please. That would be amazing. Okay, so if you have something that's very chaotic, one of the things that I want you to, one of the things that can help control the chaos is have a dark color. I'm going to add a little bit of texture to the dark color field here and not covering the entire plate. Now I've got a lot of paint on the teeth. You see that? So as I've combed in that paint layer, there's excess paint on the teeth. I'm going to just pop the teeth on other parts of the plate. So now I'm wiping that paint off. and creating more texture with that residual paint on the plate. Perfect. And then you pick up your hot mess. And for me, it's like, oh gosh, what do I choose? I have so many to choose from. Like this is a little nutty, right? That's gloss spray all over that. So I'm going to just pop that down. And see how I should have chosen night or black, but that is really, really cool. To narrow down the focus, because now where are our eyes going? Our eyes are going to the dark and not necessarily to the chaos all around. And it works too if you use white. Oh, let's use black. Oh my gosh. What just came out of that? Something clear and something definitely not black. So this is one of the original tubes that we don't have anymore. Let me just mix that paint a little bit. I've never had one. Oh, it smells weird too. We're not using that. I've never had one disintegrate like that. So Diane says it all the time, and I will echo what she says, which is, if you don't use your products, what will happen is they will go bad, okay? They really will go bad. Yes, please follow Paper and Ink Boutique. They're our highlight store for the day. I have lots of other stores signed up to highlight, and I can't wait to brag about all of them. I haven't had a chance yet to go teach at Paper and Ink Boutique. They're on my list. We talked about it, and then all the virus stuff happened. Oh, goodness gracious. And who knows when life will get... I don't know if there's ever going to be a normal. I don't know. And there's just so much we don't know right now, right? All right, so now I'm just making a little comb texture in the black. Again, I've got residual paint on the paint comb. And so I'm going to add a few more extra lines. Basically, I'm wiping it off on the plate so that I can still have more texture, right? Right. Let's do this one. So I'm going to take this tag. Hi, Colleen from Newfoundland. I taught in Newfoundland once. Ooh, that is cool. Okay, I love this square. I love it, I love it, I love it. Let's do it again. Yeah, the combs are really nice for gel. Julie that requested this, are you still on? Is this helping with ideas for your combs? And lots of other brands make combs. I always say, I'm a pro texture person. I think that black is so dramatic and cool. I super love it. Okay, I'm going to give myself a really good blot here. All right, so I just wanted to blot off. Look at all that deliciousness. All right, so one of my absolute, oops, I'm throwing stuff now, favorite things to do is to coat the plate and take a sniff of the metallic. Yeah, I'm definitely coming to Paper and Ink. I haven't been to Canada in ages, actually. I have a few stores on my waiting list there. Here's what needs to happen. We need to have vaccine. I'm not going to try to get too political here, but we need to feel safe. And so, because, will people still come to class? we need to be safe. So when it's safe, we will, I always say you can't get rid of me. All right, so I loaded the plate with Gilt, which is one of my metallic colors. I took a nice big sniff of it because it smells delicious. I think it smells minty. Find something that is good to print on. I'm going to print on this And looks like I got a booger on there. Oh well, cat hair. So this is gonna be gross, but this is not deli paper. This is my collage tissue, by the way. Yeah. Too much paint, but it still looks cool. The reason I'm getting all that texture in there is I loaded way too much paint initially. I kind of dig it though. Yeah, anytime you'll see me using just plain white substrate that looks like tissue, it's gonna be the tissue from my line. Look, all the grunge is coming off the plate. This is another, I said that in the jelly printing video from a few weeks ago, that I don't clean the plates, and that's how I get these interesting textures happening. But metallic paint, oh my gosh, you guys, with the texture tool, it is a match made in heaven. Really, really, truly is. So here, no, Sue, I do my own schedule. If you want Diane to teach at your store, you contact Ranger, you email Alan. I do my own schedule still, even though Ranger does my shipping. So if you would like me to come, if you're a store owner and you want to get on my waiting list, what I need you to do is email me. Just remember that I'm only one person, and I used to have an assistant that did my schedule, and I don't anymore. So that means I might not email back forever, but I've saved your email, I promise. And it will be okay. Eventually I'll get there. And I wait to be invited to stores. I don't, people will say, why don't you come near me? Well, I need an event. I need a venue. I don't really choose where I go, in the sense that stores will invite me to come, and then I've got a place. But just hawking up somewhere to teach, that's not how I do it at this point. I mean, eventually, maybe, but not at this point. All right, so I'm gonna put the jelly plate aside in a second. Oh, love it. I said now I want to play. Now I'm just like, okay, next color. Look at that. I just want to lay that on the floor and roll around. Lori, this is a jelly plate. Yeah, this is you know how Diane and I have the set of 3 plates? This is one of the ones in that set of 3. And I love it. My most used size. This and the little round one. I don't really, I always say I don't put this away. It stays in my drawer, so it's got a few scissor marks in it. Oh, look how cool that is. So, don't use your jelly plate with the texture tools to print on things that aren't necessarily gel prints. Print on your journal pages. So for example, let's say I have a journal page and I think I wish that had some more texture. What I'll do is create a little bit of texture, very rarely covering the whole plate at this point. Create a little weirdness. Okay, I know for a fact that's not going to print very well, only because just because I've done it before. I'm just looking for one of my other combs. We'll use this one. The teeth are so far apart on that particular comb that it won't look like much. That's what I've learned. And turn to a journal that you want to print on. So let's find something to print on here. La, 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 la. Usually I have something half done. We can print on that. Sorry, I can't decide. Yeah, we're gonna print on that. All right. So let's say I'm working on this and I think, oh, this needs a little pizzazz. I'm gonna pick my plate right up. I've got my texture plate on there. or my texture manipulation with my acrylic. And I'm just gonna give myself, and then I'm gonna die because I love the texture. Okay, you guys, you have now opened a can of worms, and I'm gonna be doing this all day. How cool is that? Now, focal point on that, or maybe this goes on there. Nah. Maybe that goes on there, right? So then you just keep creating, create a focal point, and you've got this luscious texture. Before I move on from the gel plate, any questions on the gel plate part? You guys following Paper and Ink Boutique? Please follow them on their socials, Instagram, Facebook. That's how you find out what's happening as well with stores that are nearby. Classes in Central Florida, not really. Michelle in Everything Scrapbook and Stamps. She is out in Lake Worth in Eastern Florida, sometimes there. I was gonna head there, so Megan. All right, any other questions about that? Instagram, Paper and Ink Boutique. Will the gold and turquoise go with that page? Sure. Yeah, it would go good. All right. Because you know me, I love turquoise and pink. Love it. All right. I'm just looking for something that I've gessoed because I know I'm going to want to gesso this. So here's another thing that I like to do. Did I say I was coming to Florida? I was scheduled to. Now it's not. I'm not going anywhere soon because of the virus. So, yeah. The gel plate texture tools, all this stuff can be purchased from these stores that we're talking about. All right, so here's another use for the paint combs and any texture tool you have, really. So one of the things I like to do is start a background. That's pretty wet. I've learned if it's too wet, this doesn't work. But if it's too dry, this doesn't work. So it's kind of one of those Goldilocks things. We call Titan, sometimes we call him Goldilocks, my cat, my third little crazy kitty, because he really loves to eat from everyone's bowl. And so my husband's like, Goldilocks is at it again. All right, so that's cheddar and magenta. I know that this is probably a tad too wet, but yes, this is in my new blue journal. Okay, and so now I've got a few swipes of, loose watery paint, not too watery, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my texture comb, any kind, any brand, any flavor, and in that wet background, I'm going to start dragging. Now, if this is too puddly, what happens is any texture that ends up here is going to go away. It's gonna, you're not gonna retain any of your texture, but you will drag lines out that will remain, which will look kind of fun. And it's just one of my favorite ways to get a little bit of texture in a background that isn't really in your face. One of the things that we do really well in mixed media is texture. We're texture fools, I think. This is a bit of carnation. We're texture fools. We love our texture. And texture is visual noise, and it can be a really amazing, luscious thing, and you can really easily overdo texture. Very, very easily. Okay, now what I did is I put a little bit of thick paint on that watery paint, and I'm combing through that thick paint as well. And what you can see is some of the watery paint is kicking back up onto the ridges of the thick paint. And I love the interplay that I get between the loose, wet paint and then the thick paint added later. And here you can still see some of the marks. Here you can just barely see some of the marks. Here you can see marks. And so it's just a nice subtle effect. Here on this blue denim side, so it looks like I had extra gesso on my brush, so I just continued it across. And so you can do the same thing on the gesso. I'll pop in some paint out. This was obviously a prototype of some sort because it has a lab label on it. Right. So I've already lost one of these, y'all. It doesn't help that they're clear. If I can ever do these again, I'm not making them clear. Because they're impossible to find, I think. Well, they're impossible for me to find. It made me laugh yesterday on my online class that some people were like, oh, you're so organized at the beginning, and then near the end, I was back to my usual hot mess self. All right, so that's a little bit of carnation and a little bit of magenta on that gesso. And because that gesso's there, I can comb a little starting texture. Almost looks like flowers, petals, stems or something. Confetti, right? So you put a strip, Caroline has a great idea. Put a strip of washi on her so she can find on the table. Good idea. I love it when somebody's smarter than me, which happens most of the time. Okay, I'm gonna knock that down and I'm gonna do just a plaid. This is what's fun too, is you can play and you'll be like, I don't want that one. Knock it down. When I say knock it down, just basically erase what you just did. And then try again. I could do that all day, y'all. Kind of in love with just messing around with the combs. So that's one of the things that I'll do with these combs is in my background layers, I'll start making marks with them. Use them as a mark making tool. I guess that's my point. There we go. I found my words. I found my words again. That's fun. One of the so the Dina approach to texture is I like a little bit and then I call it good. Some people are just texture lovers. I think about Seth Apter. He's such a sweetheart. If you haven't had a class with Seth, you need to. And he is the texture king. I mean, his work looks amazing online, but when you see it in real life, oh my gosh, you pick it up, you want to touch it. It has all the layers are so amazing in real life. What the heck? Did I just suddenly become from another state? Sorry about that. And they're really, really cool to see. So if you're interested in learning more about really interesting texture techniques, he is your man for that, for real. He is so, so good at it. And his processes are really fun for it. So definitely check out Seth. Every now and then in class, he'll call me while he's teaching, and he's like, "Hey, Dina, we're saying hi." And I have never been able to pick up the phone up and actually catch it. So every now and then, when I'm teaching, I'll be like, "Hey, let's call Seth." And so we'll call and be like, "Hey, Seth, we're in class," and then we all laugh about it. So anyway, that's one of our little things we do with each other. Let's call each other during class. All right, I'm setting this aside. All right, so another thing that I like to do with these texture tools is more mark making, basically, but not necessarily by putting paint down first on the page. I like to mark make with them. Oh, I'm trying to get paint out of that tube. It's almost out. Oh, have mercy. Okay, that is now a mixture of night and black gesso. Seth Apter, A-P-T-E-R. He's just lovely. All right, so over here on the right side, I put out some night and some black. And I'm taking my paint comb, any size, any variety is fine. All of these techniques can be done with any comb that has teeth, right? Will the tools work with the burlap? Yeah, absolutely. So now I've got paint loaded on these teeth, and then I love it for marks like this. And I find that these kind of marks are great for framing a focal point. So I just kind of paint with them. And, you know, why not just paint dots? Well, you could just paint dots. But I like the imperfect type of mark that I get. Gail asked, could we get a list of supplies in advance of your next live class, paint, color, stamps? Gail, you don't need to, yeah, I can try, but here's the deal. Even when I teach an in-person class, I don't want everyone to be cookie cutter at me. So I love it. I kind of give you general ideas, and then you can use what I have, or you can go your own way. But I can get a list together. It probably won't be close until much closer to the class, though. Yeah, you can make your own texture tools. It's not my favorite. I will say I have drawn on gel plates with sharp things, and I've never killed my gel plate. So gel plates are a lot more versatile, or a lot more what do you want to say, robust than they look. I've even drawn on them with scissor tips. Because, you know, would you expect anything less? But yeah. All right, so doesn't that look cool? See how that again is drawing your eye closer in? Because I'm not good with scissors. Resilient, that's good, Marty. I like that. Because I'm not good with scissors, I don't love making my own. Some people have made their own really cool texture tools, which is awesome. I'm just not. Me and scissors aren't, I don't know. The ones that I make look silly, but I've seen great ones that other people have made. They're hecka cool. Hecka cool. I'm equal opportunity texture person, but I love this. I can even come back to these puppies. La, 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 la. You can put your art marks on there, kind of give it a little frame. So every time you use a texture tool, don't be thinking, oh, I just need to cover and, you know, make paste paper, essentially. If you remember paste paper from back in the day, you can use them in small little bits. Oh, he did? Seth mentioned me in his demo. Seth is so sweet. Seth says hi. He's doing Facebook stream. Oh, tell him I say hi. Seth! How do you keep pages from sticking together after drying? So my paint doesn't stick together. So I'm not trying to be obnoxious, but some paints will stick more than others. When mine's dry, it really doesn't stick. And if it does stick a little bit, you can usually get it apart with no damage. If it's sticking with my paint, likely you turned the page when it wasn't dry. But you guys have seen how I work. I'm flipping pages around all the time, and I'm not sticking pages together. Golden paint sticks really. They have a certain resin. I mean, their paint's fantastic, but theirs tends to be a little stickier. So it just depends on the brand that you're using. But let it dry. If you want to put deli paper or wax paper in between, you can, but I don't do that. Yeah, glossy paint will stick. So my paint dries to a satin finish. So I don't have too many sticking issues, really. Right? I've gotten a lot of questions, I've mentioned this before, about products that I don't use. And I'm just not qualified to give you advice on some of those things. I just don't know. And if you don't want your little marks to be so in your face, then don't use black. Use white. Just so helpful to be able to add. It's just a mark making tool. Again, add marks. Ray Missigman, who is an absolute sweetheart as well, she is like the queen of art marks, right? If you ever want art mark inspiration, you just need to follow Ray. She's so sweet. Now I'm going to do this on literally everything. So this is how I work. I'll start doing one little technique. Like now I'm doing the black teeth marks. And everything nearby me gets black teeth marks. This is how I make decisions. If it's in my hand, okay, I'm in love with this tag. I know, I am absolutely in love with that one today. If it's in my hand, I do it to everything. That's why everything gets the pox at one time. If I start putting the pox on things, which just means paint splatter, everything gets paint splatter. And I do it until whatever paint I put out on my palette has been used up. And then I have a choice. I can either decide to put more paint out and keep doing that, or what I usually do is like, okay, that was fun. And then I'll switch to the next little idea. Or maybe I'll be like, well, that was fun. I like it in black. What happens if I do it in white? And then I'll switch to white. Because it just makes me happy. I'm almost out of black paint. Remember Demon Kitty from the Kitty Mask? So funny. I'm in love with, this has got to get incorporated into something that I do today. This piece of deli. Like I'm just in love with those as well today. All right, questions. You want that stencil that says spill, but it is sold out everywhere? Yeah, that sucks. Paper and Ink Boutique, do you have that stencil? Any of the stores watching? Any questions for Paper and Ink Boutique? And any questions for me? Because I had my head down and was not paying close attention. White with a little black left. Ooh, that would be nice, Yvonne. Have a cool gray, neutral. Yeah. I gotta give everything the pox. The pox. I'm gonna give everything a white pox. Paper and Ink Boutique, I think it's called Spill. It's an older one. You don't have it, Kristen? Kristen, we're doing store spotlights every day. I would love for you to be one of our store spotlights. I think Renee from Scrappy Chic is signed up. We have a bunch of stores signed up for store spotlights. I would love it. No paint, no combs in stock. They're on reorder. So make sure you guys throw these local stores your business. It's so important. Do you use colored Stabilos? Sometimes. I like the white. I use the black the most, the white the second most. And then, oh, thanks, Caroline. Yes, Laura, you can use sprays on the gel plate. I did demo that already, briefly. I'm also going to do a more involved gel plate class at some point. But yeah, you can spray on the gel plate because they're... Kristen, I'll email you. Yeah, Kristen, I will send you an email. I'm happy to do that. I don't know why I didn't email before, because I'm Dina, and I don't think. The Stabilo Woodies are fun. The Stabilo Woodies are the same as the other Stabilo is just fat. Marty, yeah, I hate sending Amazon my money too, so I hate that. A lot of people do it because it's quick and easy, and you know, a lot of people don't have options for shopping, which is why I want to highlight these independents that are offering independence or are offering shipping. All of us are scrambling to reinvent ourselves and to figure out this new normal. So stores are figuring it out, and I used to have the Woodies in my drawer. I might have moved them. So the Woodies are a big chubby like Stabilo, and they come in fun colors. The blue, yep, Amazon does have crafters and small businesses too. Yep, just check who's shipping your stuff. Yeah, Woody's do have more colors. Yeah. Ooh, Cherry on Top Crafts has a discontinued set of Ranger texture combs. Everybody run. Everybody run. All right, any last questions, my friends? And then I'm going to set you free. Set you free. Don't forget to follow Paper and Ink Boutique on their social channels, especially if you're in Canada. And we will see you on Thursday. Thank you guys for all your support of all the shops and stores. There's big online guys, little online guys. All of that helps. Really, really, really appreciate it all. And I hope that gave you guys some ideas for grabbing those paint cones and thinking out of the box a little bit with them. They're not just for plates. They're also for basically anytime you got paint somewhere, try dragging a comb through it. It's just fun. Just fun. I appreciate you guys. You rock the Casbah. Rock the Casbah. See you, Sue. Rock the Casbah. Also, if you're a YouTube person, if you can find my YouTube channel and subscribe, that would be amazing. So, I would love that. I'll post a link. All right, everybody. Any last questions? I feel like I'm just dragging you on and on and on. Appreciate you guys. You're the best. We're just ending, so you'll have to go back and watch the replay. All right, you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Rock the cat box. Rock the cat box. Oh, what I was saying. That reminds me of my story that I think I totally got distracted. So I was scooping the litter box, and one of the cats had pooped out burlap. And it just totally makes me laugh because that means probably Titan was in my studio eating burlap strings off my floor. Okay, that is hilarious. Don't you think? I'm like, oh my gosh, my cats are pooping out burlap. It's got to be Titan. He's the one that eats like a dog. My favorite color, I would say, are blues and turquoises and the color of the ocean and Palau. Yes, I use my stamps all the time, every day. We did do a stamp video, so if you want to go back in time, you can find the stamp video as well. So tomorrow it's the day off from, it's just, my name is Dina Wakely on YouTube. Tomorrow's a day off from a demo, but I'm determined to finish that last abstract video tomorrow. So I'll be in the studio working. Maybe we'll go live a little bit on Instagram with Diane if I can rope her in. I always love that. So yeah, it has to be Titan. Your goat dog poops the strangest things. Okay, so one more poop story. Can you guys stand it before I leave you? So, okay, yeah, you guys need to go watch Mary Beth. So when Cole was little, he was little. It has to do with like autism and Asperger's and being a little bit orally fixated. So this is a kid story, not a cat story. So we were changing him once. And the next class is on the 9th. So we were changing him once and we found like 27 cents in his diaper. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my child swallowed 27 cents and I didn't know. And like sometimes we would catch him with like Lego in his mouth even when he was older. But another time I was changing him and I'm like, why is it so gritty? I really don't understand. And then I realized that he was in the sandbox eating sand constantly. So if you eat sand, it makes for a very interesting diaper. Number 3, one time I was changing him, and he had really, really colorful poo. So colorful. And that's when I realized that my child was eating crayons. and that he would just take crayons, chomp them into little bits, and swallow them. And that makes fabulous diapers for your child. Anyway, a few poop stories to brighten your day on a Tuesday. And we'll see you next time, my friends. See you next time. Bye.